Hallie, that gentleman needs to be on the team. On this team with RFK and Tulsi, he needs to be on the team 100%. He is not scared at all. And I love what he said about right now, for the next 30 days, might even be 29 days by now, it is political. Health is political. And it's not bipartisan as much as you want it to be. It's not. One side's very anti-human. One side is working all they can to make sure that there are less people. The other side is figuring out how the children can be in better shape and how generations after generations can be in better shape. And there could be more people and more families, more nuclear families. The choice is very clear. Let's get into what RFK has to say about all this. Let's go.
Something first, what Tulsi said, the incoming president is going to have to make 14,000 appointments. And President Trump has done something. He made this mistake before, which he admitted. He said, I appointed, because under this bad advice, I appointed a lot of bad people. And that's a quote. And he said, I'm not going to do that this time. And he's put his money where his mouth is, literally. Normally every transition team in history begins on November 6th. The day after Election Day, and the GAO pays for it, the General Accounting Office. And then you go through the process of your policies and your personnel for the next administration. President Trump, when he came in 2016, told me I had no idea how to govern. I didn't know anything about it, and I took advice from sketchy people. This time he's doing something differently. Instead of relying on GAO, which would make him have to wait till November 6th, he got private donors to contribute money to open up a transition team early, 3 months early. So we're going to have a lot of time to pick this person out. And he kept his word to me by pointing me and Tulsi to that transition team. So we are going to be choosing those 14,000 people who are going to be governing this country. And what President Trump has told us is he's not scared of anybody. He said, I'm not scared of pharma. I'm not scared of any of these big industries. I want to leave a legacy for this country. And one of the key parts of that legacy is to make America healthy again. So Russell began this question by talking about the rise of nationalism around the country, around the world. And nationalism, which often gets a bad name, and populism gets a bad name, but those are natural reactions to globalization. And globalization is a project of the Five Eyes, the intelligence agencies, the World Economic Forum, the large corporations who want to commoditize our landscapes, our trade, our children, our health, and to do that globally, to have global centralized control over the globe. And nationalism is a reaction against that. It's for people who say, no, we don't want top-down control. We want democracy. We want bottom-up. And that's the way that we're going to restore democracy. And the Democratic Party has now become the party of centralized control. It no longer trusts democracy. It no longer trusts the demos. It doesn't trust elections. It abandoned elections this time around. It rigged the Democratic primary so that only President Biden could win. And then when it became dissatisfied with his leadership, some unseen, unknown individuals imposed a palace coup against President Biden and then appointed their own person, somebody who's never won an election, a national election. And suddenly that person, Kamala Harris, is now the flag bearer, the torchbearer for the party. It's because they don't trust the public, and that's why you need censorship. You have to control what the public thinks by controlling the information they have access to. If you look at all the new evolution of what the Democratic Party has become, it's become the party of centralized control. And that, again, is a project, of a long-term project of the intelligence establishment, the intelligence apparatus. We've been asked to change, for example, health policy. The way that we're going to do that, and military policy, et cetera, but the way that we're going to do that with health policy is by trusting the American people. The American people, yeah, exactly. The American people, they comply, or they hear and listen to clinical guidelines. When the Surgeon General told the American people to stop smoking, there was a huge drop in smoking. When the medical establishment told them to take COVID vaccines, they did it. When the medical establishment told them the food pyramid, they obeyed it. If they get good guidance, they've gotten perverse guidance, but if they get good guidance, they're going to do it. They don't have to be ordered to do it. And the mechanism for imposing that centralized control is Medicaid. If you are diagnosed with diabetes, for example, the prescription, the clinical guideline says metformin and Ozempic. And that's all you're going to get, that's all they're going to pay for. In Europe, they don't do that. They allow individual doctors to prescribe individualized care for patients. And most of that care, the guidelines that they hand out are not for drugs, but they're for changes in diet and exercise. And their national health ministries will pay for that. And Medicare in this country, Medicaid, should be paying for gym memberships and for good food. The guidelines that they're now considering for Ozempic will cost $1,500 a month for this drug. And if everybody who is qualified, 74% of our population is obese or overweight and would qualify, that would be $3 trillion a year. A tiny fraction of that, we could buy organic meals, 3 meals a day for every man, woman, and child in this country. And so that, that all of the policies that we're talking about and thinking about and talking with the Trump administration, with Trump insiders, are all about restoring democracy and restoring choice, informed choice to the American public, and doing that by decorrupting the agencies and actually giving good science so Americans and doctors have access to it, and then allowing them to make individual choices that the government will then support.
This is the reason why I've canceled my internet subscription.
What if I told you that there's no such thing as no internet connection?
Let's talk about Acorns. Everyone knows it as the app that invests your spare change. But how did it start? Where did this?
One of the things.
Man, when he talks about what he knows best, he sounds incredible. Just so presidential. Just, it's like in the Kennedy blood. Not anymore. He might be the last of them. But I'm just saying, it's just, when he talks about what he knows, absolutely incredible. And, I heard about this whole, that Ozempic or whatever it is, that they want to get it for everybody, basically. Exactly what he just said. It'd be $3 trillion a year. That's remarkable. That is crazy. And then instead, you could give everybody 3 organic meals a day. Wow. Guess which one they're going to go with? Let's be real. These guys don't get in office. Guess which one they're going to go with? RFK breaking it down. One thing I will say from the Rogan clip that Callie said that was really powerful is that he said grassroots is the most powerful thing, that these people in power are telling him that grassroots issues and initiatives are the most powerful thing. I found that to be very interesting. But RFK just said a whole lot there. That's what he plans on doing with President Trump. Honestly, I was talking with my friend, and what it seems like to me, let's move on to the next clip. What it seems like to me, Tulsi's going to get into it now, is that